I am so tired today. I stayed up way too late. So today we're gonna do a Pilates reformer workout for when you just need a little help getting started. We will start off slow and then we'll pick up the pace. My name is Melanie, your mildly goth Pilates instructor. Please place on 3 red springs and meet me down on the mat. And if you are not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can see you again next week. I post new workouts weekly and I have a bunch of exciting new things coming soon. All right, headrest will be up. We're gonna go for footwork. So balls of the feet on the foot bar in Pilates V, heels together, toes apart, knees as wide as your shoulders, arms by your side or extended up over your shoulders. We're gonna keep a nice neutral spine as we press in and resist the springs to come out, or out and in. Off to a good start. So my rib cage is staying down. I'm keeping the backside of my ribs in contact with the mat. I'm not arching the ribs up above the bed. The bottom of the sacrum is heavy on the mat today. Good, and I'm just keeping this at whatever pace makes sense. If you want to move a little slower today or a little more quickly, feel free to go for it. But we want to make sure we're maintaining that alignment and thinking about the belly button pulling up toward the sternum. Good. Last one. Good. Coming all the way home, I'm going to move to arches of the feet on the foot bar, knees together, inner thighs zipped. I'm going to curl the toes over in our parallel feet position, press out and in. So you're getting work through the bottom of the feet as well as through the back of the legs. Still looking at those ribs, neutral spine through the pelvis. And also let's take care to notice the collarbone being nice and wide, the shoulders rolling back, even while you're in this laying down position. The breath is exhale as you go back, inhale as you come in. Good. Let's go for 3 more. And take a sip of your coffee, your tea throughout as needed. I've got a coffee over there that's about the size of my face. Good. Last one. Bring it on home. Heels to the foot bar, knees together, inner thighs zipped. Flex through the top of the foot. Toes reach for your nose. We're going to press out and in a little bit more quads here probably. You want to feel the glutes and hamstrings engaged too, keeping all of your core engagement happening here. Using this as our recentering time. You want to take care not to rock the feet back and forth as you're in this position, so not letting the feet go back and forward as the legs come back. I really want to keep the feet flexed, so I'm getting that mobility through the ankle as well. And if you don't have that much range, I'm a very bendy person naturally, that's fine. Take it to wherever you can and do your best and work on the range over time. Good. Let's go for 2 more. Good. And last one. Just warming up through our footwork series here. Balls of the feet to the foot bar, knees together, inner thighs zip together, heels are raised into your releve or high heel position. We're going to take a big breath in, exhale, extend it out, lower the heels, lift the heels, keep the inner thighs zipped together as you keep the heels lifted and bring the carriage back home. Press out, heels press under with control, press up, keep that engagement as you come on in. We're going to take about 6 more. Feeling that articulation happening through the feet. You've got equal pressure on both your big toe joint and your little toe joint. So you're not rocking inward on the feet or rocking outward. You've got a nice balanced weight distribution here. And I know there are a lot of things to think about. None of it is life or death, but please make sure you keep your ribs down or really work on training your torso to get into that position. It can be very hard if you're used to standing in a back extension or rib flare position. I know I've had my own challenges with that, especially after having a baby. But just keep awareness of it. And even if you just slowly, bit by bit, train yourself into that, that's great. That's how you make change. I lost count. I was too busy talking. Let's go for 2 more. And in. Last one. Good. We're going to keep the heels lifted. Legs are long. Carriage is still pressed away. We're going to lower for 3. Lift for 1. Lower for 3. Lift for 1. Lower for 3, 2, 1. Lift for 1. Lower, 3, 2, 1, lift for 1. 2 more, 3, 2, 1, lift for 1. Lots of calf here. Lift for 1, very nice. We're gonna just go for a quick calf stretch, bending one knee, keeping the other stretched as we flex at that opposite ankle. Good. Using your breath to help intensify the stretch. Take your 360-degree breath, feeling the ribs and lungs expand out to the side, up and down. And everything sinks as you exhale. Extend both legs. We're going to go for the opposite side. Opposite leg is straight. Holy moly, that is sore today. And use your breath. Each time you exhale, feel all of your muscles relax. You can feel a deepening of that stretch. Wow, I could hang out there forever, but we have stuff to do. Extend both legs, raise the heels, bend the knees, come on home. We're going to take a quick pyramid or second position, heels or arches to the outer corners of the foot bar. If you'd like, you can add a blue spring to add a little more resistance to this. If you'd like to keep it lighter, 3 reds or 3 heavies is totally fine. Roll the shoulders back, ribs down, spine neutral. Exhale, press away, keeping that external rotation. So knees are staying wide, whatever makes sense, whether it's 45, if you have a full ballet 90, go nuts with it. Just take whatever feels comfortable to you in your natural range. And we want to stretch and bend to come in. Good. Keeping even pressure through both feet. And we're controlling on the way out, controlling on the way in. Feeling glutes engage here. Inner thighs as well. Your mileage may vary, but that's typically what one would be feeling. Good, 2 more. And after this last one, we're going to move into internal rotation, which is a lot harder for a lot of people, me included. You really want to initiate that rotation through the hips. So we're going to have knees pointed together, toes pointing towards each other. Exhale, press the legs away, your knees will separate. Inhale, they should come a little bit closer together. They may not touch. That's fine. Work within the range you have. It's not a contest, not even with yourself. Good. And let's keep it going. So probably you'll be feeling some work through the front of the hips, potentially through the hip flexors, through the thighs. That is good. I think a lot of people get very scared about tight hip flexors and feel like any work is going to exacerbate tightness. And of course it can, but a lot of the times weakness is happening from lack of use or from sitting in a compressed position all day, especially if you work at a desk. So this kind of strengthening and working in different ranges, doing strengthening and mobility in different ranges can really go a long way in long-term alleviating some aches and pains. We're going to go for 1 more. Good. And bring it back in. Now we're going to go for circles. I'm going to stay in that internal rotation, press out. I'm going to switch to external rotation, bring it all the way in. Once I'm there, internally rotate knees together, press out, knees point out and in. Knees come together, press out, rotate to external rotation. Knees come in, press out, knees go out and in. Now we reverse. Press out in your external rotation, knees point outward. Turn to face in, those knees stay pointed in as you come in. Rotate to turn out, press away. Rotate inward, come in. Rotate to turn out, press away. Rotate in, come in. So just working through your hip mobility, still building strength in all different positions here. Very, very good for healthy hips. Let's take 1 more, just for good measure. Very nice. Okay, bring it all the way in. Heels to the outer corners of your foot bar or arches. We're going to just rock the knees side to side, letting the top hip fall over. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but my lower back was just popping. That felt really nice. Hopefully you're mobilizing some joints as you go through this. You can really let that top hip fall over. It doesn't need to be pressed down to the mat. Let's take 1 more. And today, again, because this is our morning tired workout, we're just gonna take our time getting into things, maybe do a few more stretches. Take it easy on ourselves, but still move and get our blood pumping and our endorphins going. Okay, gather your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze. We're gonna move on. Next, switch on to one blue spring and one red spring, or one heavy, one light. You're gonna come to lying down on the machine, grab your straps. You're gonna place those straps into your palms for some hands and straps. Arms will come up to the ceiling, hands right over the shoulders, legs to tabletop to start. We're gonna begin squeezing the inner thighs, press the arms down toward the mat, and bring them back up. Take care to just check out your shins, make sure they're parallel to the ceiling as best as you can. If your back needs a little more support, you're welcome to bring your knees a little further in toward your chest if you like. Otherwise, really try to focus on getting your knees right over your hips if you're able to. Take care to use your breath. Lift your belly button up toward your sternum as you begin pressing through those straps. And if you like, you can begin curling up with the head, neck, and shoulders. And if you must, find a little space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. If you find that helpful, which I certainly do. You're gonna exhale, press away. And if it feels more comfortable to keep your head down as you go for this one, feel free. Good. Very nice. Next, we're gonna begin playing with leg extensions. So I'm gonna extend one leg to 45 and bring it back to tabletop. Exhale, other leg to 45 or lower. Bring it back to tabletop. If you like, you can curl up with the head, neck, and chest. Taking care to feel like you've got a tangerine between your chin and your collarbone. I'm going to keep my head down for today. We're just taking this slow and steady, but really building on a lot of core engagement. Work through the arms, work through the back as well. Good. And extend. We're going to take one more each side. Exhaling as you extend. Reaching long through the fingertips and making sure the shoulder blades are plugged into the mat. Good. Back to tabletop. Now, if you'd like to progress that, we're going to extend both legs to 45. Bring it back in. Hands come right up over the shoulders. Squeezing through the inner thighs and extend. And if you like, again, take your extension to 45 and bring it back in. And back. Pick your poison. Head can be down or lifted. We're going to take 3 more. You want to make sure your belly button is zipping in and up each time you press through the straps and extend. Good. Bring it back in. All right, we'll continue working on this ab series, moving into scissors. If you need more space, you can put the foot bar down. I'm going to extend one leg up to 90, one leg to 45. I'm going to push through the palms, switch the legs. So each time one leg is coming up to 90 or close to the face, and I'm pushing through the palms, getting a lot of work through the back, particularly all those muscles that support the shoulder blade. Good. 2 more. Good. And while you're here, switch positions. Now we're going to continue. Opposite leg comes up as the hands come up. Opposite leg goes down as the hands come down. Good. Make sure we're working both sides of the body evenly, stretching all the way through the legs, pulling the kneecap up, really lifting through the quad to get that full leg extension. And you can lift through the head, neck, and shoulders. So those palms press down if you like, of course. Good, and bring it back up. And take a quick break. If you come down to the foot bar, relax your hands by your sides, rock your knees side to side. Good. Rock your head side to side, release your neck, particularly if you're raising up the head, neck, and shoulders. Take a big 360-degree breath. Feeling the lungs expand in 3D. Exhale, feel your abs lift and engage. And we'll go for one more. So because this is a sleepy morning workout, we're still gonna work, but we're gonna take little breaks here and there so we don't get overwhelmed. So let's move the hands up over the shoulders. I'm gonna bring the legs back to tabletop. This time I'm gonna separate the knees as wide as my hips or as wide as my shoulders. Whatever feels good to you, you go for it. So fingertips reach long. I'm gonna push the hand, left hand, between the legs. Right hand goes to the outside of the hip. I'm gonna lift the head and bring it back down as the hands come to center. Opposite side. Right hand comes to center, arms up over the shoulders. Make sure the collarbone stays wide as you go for this one. So I'm not curling the shoulders inward. I'm just gonna go for 2 more each side. If you like, you can, of course, keep the head down for this one There's no right answer. Good. Last one. Nice oblique work there. And place the feet down on the foot bar. Relax the hands down by your side, and we're going to move on. When you're ready, roll up to sitting carefully, slowly with control. I'm going to place on 2 reds and a blue, or 2 heavy springs and a light spring. I'm going to lower the headrest. That's very important. Please lower your headrest. And I'm going to come back to lying on the mat. For this one, we're going to go into bridges. You can keep your feet down on the sandpaper if that feels more comfortable to you, or place them up on the foot bar. I'm going to take the foot bar choice today. You can have your arms long by your sides or up over your shoulders, depending on what feels best to your body today. I'm going to have my arms down for this one for now. See how things feel. Knees as wide as the hips, toes pointed forward, arches of the feet on the foot bar, or if you'd like an added challenge, you can go for toes on the foot bar. Deep breath in, rib cage down, collarbone wide. I'm going to peel the spine up, curling the pelvis under, lifting my body, lifting the pelvis up. So I'm in a diagonal line from knees to hips to shoulders. Deep breath in, exhale, melt the spine, rolling down 1 vertebra at a time. Trying to keep that carriage still. It's very challenging some days, today being one of them. Curl the pelvis under, feel your lower abdominals engage. Ribs are down. So I'm not going into a yoga flared rib bridge. Ribs stay down, always talking to your hips. They're having a very intense conversation directly like this. If you'd like, you can bring the arms up over your shoulders for this raised arm bridge position. This may also give you a little less stability through the hips. It may also just feel better for some bodies working on the reformer to not have to worry about the torso and the arms occupying the same space. Good. Last one. So now we're going to move into a neutral spine bridge. So instead of that curl under with the pelvis as we start, we're going to keep our neutral spine position with the heavy sacrum. We're going to lift right up and right down. So we're hinging at the hip. We're not curling the pelvis under at any point, keeping that spinal alignment. Abs are still engaged, so you want the ribs talking to each other in the central line. You want the ribs talking to the hips, so we're not getting into that flared position. Glutes and hamstrings are hopefully engaging. If you're having a hard time feeling the connection through the core and through the legs, you can place a yoga block or a small ball or a pillow between your knees. Let's take a couple more. Basic movement, but very foundational. Working core, deep core muscles here, and working posture supporting muscles, which are the back line of the body, the glutes and the hamstrings. 2 more, why not? These are great for you. Let's find our last one here. We're going to hold here, find your bridge position. We're going to keep the hips lifted as we press the legs out and in. So every time we press out, we're going to try to straighten the legs as best as we can. Each time we come in, the knees are going to move on an upward diagonal. Try to keep your gaze forward, unlike what I was just doing. And again, focus on your ribs continuing to talk to your hip bones so you're not flaring through your torso. You want to keep that ab engagement. Pelvic floor is lifting as well. And you want to try to keep your toes in line with your knees also. It can be very easy to let the toes kind of go this way, outward, even though the knees are pointing forward, and that can put a lot of undue stress on your hip joints. Good. Let's do about 2 more of these. I think we've probably all had enough. We'll take a quick stretch. Again, with this concept of work and rest. Find your bridge position. Melt the spine down 1 bone at a time. Have the bottom of your sacrum hit the mat nice and heavy. Hug your knees in toward your chest. Exhale and just release and relax everything. Rock your head side to side. Rock your knees side to side. Place 1 foot on the foot bar. Cross your opposite ankle over. You're going to go for a classic figure 4 stretch. Thread your arms through your legs and pull your bent knee, your supporting knee, in toward your chest. And feel a release through the glute and the hamstrings on that working leg. If you like, you can press away with your forearm or your hand on the thigh of that working leg. I like to do that while I pull the supporting leg in toward my chest. That can be quite intense. And if you like, you can also extend the supporting leg up to the ceiling if that feels good to you. For me, that's not really, it's not the vibe, but it may feel great to your body, and in which case, take the thing that feels good. We're gonna switch sides. My glutes are still talking to me from the the last week's video. I'll link that somewhere around here, but this is definitely feeling like a meaningful stretch to me. Make sure you're breathing through this. So on your inhale, think about your exhale, just turning your muscles into melting ice cream, especially your shoulders. Definitely breathing into your glutes. All right, we're gonna roll up to sitting. So place your feet on the foot bar, or I prefer the sandpaper here, but do whatever feels best to you. You're gonna bring your chin to your chest, grab onto the back of your thighs, roll up to sitting, and we will move on. All right, friends, flip onto one red and one blue spring, or one heavy and one light spring. We're gonna move on to some more ab work, this time kneeling. So once you're ready, you're gonna come to kneeling on the reformer, knees hip distance apart, fingertips reb forward like a motorcycle, palms on the foot bar, hips come forward. We're gonna keep that nice spinal alignment, gaze is forward, chest is proud as you come forward and back. If your hands are getting sweaty, you might need to regrip. Good, shoulders stay wide. Think about your right shoulder being tucked into your back pocket and your left shoulder being tucked into, shoulder blade being tucked into your right back pocket. Oh man, I put lotion on my hands before I started this. This was not a good idea. Good. 3 more. Chest is proud each time you come up. And 1. Good. Next, we're going to move into knee stretches in 2 different flavors. So palms on the foot bar, knuckles forward. We're going to hinge back the hips. We can find kind of a curve position here. So I'm not in a flat back. I'm kind of a curve. I'm going to bend and extend at the hips, sending the knees back and forward. Trying to keep that curve as I do this. Feeling the lower abdominals really supporting here. I like to exhale as I push back, inhale as I come forward. Try to keep that curve in the upper spine if you can. Good. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Very good. Bring it home. Now we're going to go for knee stretches in a neutral position with the knees off of the reformer. So hands back on the foot bar, shoulders rolled wide, toes still curled under. Wipe off your palms if you need to. We're going to lift, push up through the hands, and we lift the knees. We'll press out and in. Let's go for 20. Keeping the abs zipped in and up. The pace for this one can be pretty brisk. If this doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. Good. 10 more. If you need to take a break, you can do that. You've got 5. Ooh, try to control the carriage. Last 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Close the stopper. Find a quick child's pose. Bring your butt down to your heels. Reach your arms over the foot bar. Let your chest open. Feel a nice stretch through the shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, come on up. Let's move on. Next, we'll move on to our long stretch. So headrest will go up. If you have a sticky pad, you can place it onto the headrest so you don't slip around. We're going to come to a full plank position. We'll just do a few of these. So toes curled under, legs are going to be long, hands shoulder distance apart on the foot bar. Find your plank position. You're going to press away. Head comes to an upward diagonal each time you come in. So I'm not piking the hips up toward the ceiling, keeping my belly button squeezed in and up. This can be quite a wide movement or just a small flossing. I want you to take care to draw your ears back so that your chin isn't jutting toward the floor. That's a very common thing that can happen in this exercise. Let's go for 1 more. Bend the knees, close the carriage. We're done with those. We're going to finish up with running and pelvic lift. So I'm going to place the headrest down because that's more comfortable for me. I'm going to come to lying down on the reformer once again. Head on the headrest, scoot away from the shoulder blocks just a little, arms wherever is comfortable to you. Heels will be lifted, inner thighs zip together, and press the carriage away. And I'm going to take a run. Bend one knee, extend the other. Accent is up each time the legs straighten. So this looks like this, the very up, light energy instead of down. That's more of a calf stretch. We want a little bit of an energizing cardio, because I'd like for you guys to leave this class feeling like you've got a little bit more zip to go about your day, particularly if you're doing this one in the morning. Good. So that opposite leg is going fully straight each time. We're getting a little push. It feels like a little bounce, but you're still working through the ankle and articulating, just as we did in the heel lift exercise within footwork at the start of class. So kind of coming full circle. Good. Let's take a pulse, double pulse on one side, stretch, pulse, pulse on the other, stretch, pulse, pulse, stretch, pulse, pulse. So even though the accent on the stretch is down, down, you're still coming up with that little sense of lift every time both legs extend. Good. Ooh, calves are really working today, huh? Good. One more each side. Good. Both legs stretch. We're going to bend one leg, straighten the other. Oh boy, calf stretch. This is doing it for you. Hang out here. You're also welcome to hook the toes of the opposite foot under the foot bar to intensify this stretch. That is not doing it for me right now, so I'm going to stay where I am. Straighten out both legs. Opposite side. We're going to go for a calf massage at the end of class, so don't skip out on the ending stretch. It's going to be good. Good. Again, if you want a little deeper stretch on this side, hook the toes of the opposite leg, opposite foot under the bar and pull it toward you to give a little bit of oppositional force. Oh boy. Straighten both legs, bend the knees, bring it home. So heels will come to the outer corner of the foot bar. Knees will be as wide as your reformer. And we're going to kind of echo the bridge from earlier in class, but this time really focusing on lower abdominals through this pelvic lift. So we're going to keep that neutral spine position so the bottom of your sacrum doesn't curl under. Spine is staying where it is. We're just hinging at the hip and opening that hip. So hip bends, hip extends, or it bends less. You want to think about there being a rubber band between your hip bones. Your rib cage and your pelvis are still talking to each other, so you're not flaring the ribs and arching the back. Think about your lower abdominals lifting your hips up off the mat. And each time you come down, you can barely touch the mat. Of course, glutes and thighs are going to work on this, but you want to think about the lower abdominals bringing everything together for this movement. Good. You're going to pause here in this hover. Straighten out the legs. Bend the knees, bring it home. Straighten out the legs, keeping care to keep the ribs down. And back. Slow motion. We're starting to slow things down. Preparing to carry this breath and control into our day. Good. Last one. Big breath in, exhale. Push away with control. Slow motion, bring everything in, close the stopper, gently lower the hips down, hug your knees in toward your chest, close your eyes. Feel your lungs expand in every direction like you've opened an umbrella. Exhale, feel your ribs sink down, and exhale completely. Big breath in, feel that umbrella breath, 360 degrees. Big inhale. Exhale, expel every bit of air out of your lungs. One more time. And exhale. Now let's go for a little calf massage. So I'm going to place one calf on the foot bar. Opposite foot is on the foot bar. We're just going to rock the calf side to side. Whoa, work out any naughty bits. That is crazy. I haven't done this in a while. If you feel bumps, definitely focus in those areas. Use the weight of your leg against the foot bar to treat yourself or give yourself a hard time, depending on how you feel. You can also rock the leg back and forth, really working the calf this way if that feels better, finding your tight spots. If you have a partner or a friend or a family member with you, you can also ask them to push down on the calf a little bit and rock it side to side. That can be really a fun experience. Let's go for the other side when you're ready. I don't know whose day isn't improved by a little calf massage at the start of it. I know I feel better already. Oh man, wow. I clearly need to do this a little more. And this is something you can tack onto any workout you do. I'm doing it at the end of this one, but you can do this at the end of any reformer workout to keep things loose. Again, side to side is the name of the game. I'm finding some really interesting spots, so to speak. You can also go forward and back on the calves, particularly where like the bulbous part of the calf meets the lower part. And when you've had enough, you're going to bring the feet to the sandpaper, knees as wide as your reformer. Deep breath in, exhale, chin to chest, roll on up to sitting. And you have done it. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job. Please, if you would, like this video and subscribe if you are not already. I have so much new stuff coming. Also, thank you so much to this week's Super Thanks supporters. You guys keep me going. I really appreciate it. Thank you to each and every one of you. I'll see you later. Bye.